Hey everybody, this is my 20-gallon open-topped office tank, and today we are going to be doing a water change and a filter change, getting the glass wiped down, just some basic maintenance. But when I'm in there, I'm going to be looking around for anything unusual, any pockets of dead plant material that have collected, maybe a dead fish in there somewhere. I'm not really sure what the cause is just yet, but when I walk into my office, I can smell a weird smell. It doesn't smell like a dead fish. It doesn't really smell like stagnant, swampy water, but it smells like an off fish tank or something. I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm smelling, but it doesn't smell right. And when I go up and sniff the tank, I'm still not getting 100% of that smell from the tank. I have had the windows open in the office all day. It's been a nice day out and the fan's been on, so I could be getting some outside smells. It just seems odd that this would be the only room where I'm smelling that. And the tank does smell a little odd, and I'm not really sure what's going on with that. So I've mentioned before that your nose is a great indicator of everything going right with your tank. It should not smell fishy. It shouldn't smell swampy. You know, you shouldn't get that sort of gassy smell. It should just smell sort of nice and fresh. It should smell like sort of fresh earth or a nice clean lake. If it doesn't, then you may have circulation problems or problems with your nitrogen cycle. Maybe it's just overstocked and you're not doing water changes frequently enough. Could be a lot of things going on to cause a funky smell in your tank. So why this tank suddenly smells a little funky, I don't know. But we're going to get in there and do a water change and see if I can't figure it out. Maybe I just need to vac some of the crud out of the corners and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to find out. So there's your before, and there's your after. So I honestly don't know what to tell you about the smell. I did not find anything untoward. There was nothing unexpected. I checked the nitrate just to see what was going on with the tank. I know that the nitrate itself does not have any kind of odor or anything like that. That's not what I was expecting. But if the tank's been neglected and it's been sitting there longer than I think since the last water change, you know, the nitrate would give me an idea of what was going on. And it was a little higher than I thought it was going to be. I figured it would still be down in the orange territory, but it was definitely red, but barely. It had just moved out of what I could say was orange, and it was now red. So somewhere around the 40 to 50 parts per million, something like that, which again is not a concern in any way, shape, or form. At least in this tank, it's certainly not. So not really sure what was going on. As I suspected, the tank had not been neglected for a long time. I'd done water changes fairly recently. Otherwise, the nitrate level would have been a lot higher. This tank is starting to get fairly heavily stocked. That is one of the things I noticed while I was in there doing the water changes. I've got so many little guppy fry swimming around in the plants and everything that you don't really notice until you start looking for them. Now that I don't have any sort of large predatory fish in there, the guppies are just going to breed out of control. And of course, I just put some red wag platies in there, and they're going to start breeding. So I'm going to have lots of little baby platies swimming around at some point. So soon I'm going to have to get some sort of fish in here that is predatory and will eat fry. And that way it'll help keep the population of some of these fish under control. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've already got 2 tanks in the basement that are overrun with little fry. Between the red wag platies and between a female guppy that I've got a lot of little fry downstairs. So anyway, about this tank, nothing really to talk about. Again, I just don't know what to tell you. The nitrate wasn't really that high. It was right around 40, 50 parts per million. I did a gravel vac around here and there in some of the more problematic areas once you get down near the cave here and around the roots of the plants. Although last time I was in there, I did remove a lot of the plants. So that's the only thing that I keep thinking about is I made some changes to this tank recently. And whenever you make changes to a tank, you can expect changes. You can expect changes in something. Either it's going to start growing algae or plants are going to die or something is going to change when you get in a tank and start fiddling with stuff and moving things around. So I took a bunch of plants out of here last time. This whole midsection here was a huge mound of this Java Windelov here, and I removed all of that. I also was starting to see some success in my temple plant after I added root tab. So I added a second root tab about a week ago. So I've now got 2 root tabs in this tank, which are new. Again, I can't imagine how that would be contributing to the odor in the tank, but that is something I've done differently. So I removed some plants and added some root tabs to get a lot more vigorous growth going on another one. So is that what caused it? I have no idea. When I changed out the filter pad was not particularly dirty. I'm getting good water flow through the pipes, so it's not like those are clogged up and I've got a reduced amount of flow. You can see I did trim my temple plant a little bit, and I stuck some of the cuttings in the filter box there. They're already looking wilted and droopy, so it's a pretty good indication they're not going to survive and take root. But we'll see. I'll leave them in there until they're clearly dead and we won't have to worry about it anymore. The other thing I checked was my power head. It was a little bit dirty, had some growth and stuff on it, but all in all, it still had plenty of water flowing through it. And once I got in there and got the tank a little stirred up, you could clearly see how the water was swirling and moving around the tank, and you can still see it. And you can see the way the fish are swimming in the current. On the fore side of the tank, on the side closest to us, they face to the left and they swim down towards where the filter is. And if they get on the back side of the tank, they tend to face to the right and swim towards the direction of the power head. So I have sort of a counterclockwise or an anti-clockwise, depending on where you're from, how you say that. But I have a counterclockwise flow going around in this tank. And it's significant enough that I should definitely not be getting any kind of weird smells from stagnant water or poor circulation. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I sniffed the bucket. The bucket didn't smell bad. And now that I'm sniffing the tank after I've done the water change, the tank smells pretty much like it always has. So I'm almost wondering if it's not something that's coming from outside and it's just my imagination. I'm being a little too hypersensitive about something's potentially wrong with one of my fish tanks or something. I don't know. But there you go. If I figure out anything that's going on with it, or I find any other parameters that are out of whack, I will definitely update you and let you know. But in the meantime, everything seems perfectly normal to me, and so we're going to just go from there. I will end on a final note saying that I forgot to mention this is a little cutting from a temple plant. If my regular viewers might remember, a while ago I took some cuttings from that and I stuck them in a plastic jug and just set them on the corner of my desk. And several of them did take root, but I never did anything with them, and they just sat there until they eventually just sort of started dying off again. And that little cutting right there is the last little bit that still had some root growing on it. And so I tried putting it in some potting mix, and we're going to see if I can't get it to actually root in and grow terrestrially. I've never actually tried growing this in a planter before, so it'll be interesting to see if I can't grow enough temple plant. If nothing else, it can be like a mother plant that I can use to grow to make cuttings, and then I can have lots and lots of other temple plants. So who knows, maybe I'll have some temple plant for sale in the very near future. So make sure you're subscribed. You won't miss that or anything else I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. So thanks for watching this one. Don't forget, this here is my 20-gallon open-topped office tank. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.